Namaste to all. This is a very beautiful Ved mantra which I have already explained many times in my channel. This is from the book Arya Abhivinaya, written by Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati and translated in English. The mantra is like this. Carefully see the words. Sa Pariyagat Shukrama Akayam Avranam Asnavirang Shuddham Apapaviddham Kabir Manishi परिभूः स्वयंभूर्याथा तत्यथो अर्थान् द्वयददात् शाश्वतीभ्यः समाभ्यः. This is Yajurveda 40/8 mantra, and if you see, Maharishi writes in the Bhumika as glorification, untouched by sins. Paramatma's quality is untouched by sins. So if you see the word to word meaning, Saha, he, that Almighty God, Pari Agat, is pervasive everywhere. Shukram, he is the fashioner, he is the molder and creator of the whole universe. Another meaning of Shukram is also Sarva Shaktiman. Akayam, he is bodiless. Avranam, he is indivisible. Asnaviram, he is devoid of nerves. Shuddham, he is ever pure, free from all kinds of blemishes. That means Paramatma is free from avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesh, kleshas. Apapaviddham, he is untouched by sins. Kavihi, all knowing, he is Manishi, the witness of all our intellectual activities. Paribhuhu, he permeates all the space. Swayambhuhu is such that there is no first cause of his being. Swayambhu means he is such that there is no first cause of his being. He Vayadadat teaches his Shashwati Bhyaha eternal, Samabhyaha creatures, Arthan truth, Yatha Tatyataha as it ought to be known. Truth, Arthan means truth, truth means here Vedas, as it ought to be known. Paramatma gives the knowledge of the Vedas as it ought to be known to the creatures. Creatures here means human beings. So here, this is a glorification of the mantra. If you go to the word to word meaning, see the elucidation I'm trying to read over, and you can follow here. The Almighty God is pervasive everywhere like space. He is the fashioner of the whole universe. He never embodies himself. In other words, he never incarnates himself. Being entire, infinite and immutable, he never assumes a form. There is no entity more pervasive than Paramatma God, and hence he can never assume a body. God's being is indivisible, whole, always the same, unpierceable, imperforable, unshakable and immovable. The piercing and cutting of it being impossible, the relation of a part to the whole does not obtain in it. I read again. The piercing and cutting of it being impossible, the relation of a part to the whole does not obtain in it. On the same grounds, God's body cannot be lashed with nerves, arteries and veins, etc. Being most subtle, God's body cannot be enveloped with anything. God's being is ever pure. See, here we must understand, here in this, God's body cannot be lashed with nerves, arteries and veins. That means prana pratishtha is impossible in Paramatma, because God does not have nervous system. God does not have arteries and veins. You saw in the mantra, right? He says, here the mantra says, Asnaviram, he is devoid of nerves. So Paramatma, there is no possibility of prana pratishtha in Paramatma. That's the clarity we get from Veda mantras. And further here he says, God's being is ever pure. He is free from impediments of ignorance, such as birth and death, joy and sorrow, hunger and thirst, and all other such blemishes. Adorer of a pure being surely becomes pure himself, whereas the adorer of an impure being becomes impure himself. God never commits injustice, as he is always the ordainer of justice. This is why he is called Apapaviddham, that is the one untouched by sins. God is knower of the three kalas, present, past, and future. He is the omniscient, the most wise, the depth of whose knowledge none can fathom. Only he fully knows what goes on in the minds of all creatures. I repeat again, only he fully knows what goes on in the minds of all creatures. It is he who controls all our intellectual activities. God's being completely permeates all the space in all the directions and shines above all in glory. He is self existent, that is, there is no first cause of his self, such as mother, father, producer, etc. On the contrary, he himself is the first cause of all. That Almighty God has revealed to the people for the great benefit of mankind the truth as it ought to be known in the form of the truthful lore of the four Vedas. God, our most compassionate Father, has most graciously set shining in this universe the sun of his Vedic lore for dispelling the darkness of ignorance. See here, I read again this sentence. God, our most compassionate Father, has most graciously set shining in this universe the sun of his Vedic lore for dispelling the darkness of ignorance. So without the knowledge of the Vedas, ignorance cannot be finished, and without ignorance getting finished, we can never attain moksha. That's the fundamental principle. So further you see, there is no doubt about his being the first cause of everything in this universe. This should be admitted by all of us without any hesitation. Then, admittedly, he is the first cause of all the Vidyas also, considering of the Vedic lore. God has graciously, of his own accord, taught humanity the principles of true knowledge. Having given us all the things in this world, why would he not confer upon us the gift of true knowledge also? And that excellent gift of true knowledge is the gift of four Vedas. For there are no other books in this world which can be said to contain the principles of true knowledge revealed by God. Just as God is the wisest and the most just, so are the Vedas. There is no other book in this world which can be said to be embody the principles of true knowledge revealed by God, like the Vedas, are to be equal to or more profound than the Vedas. So this is a very powerful statement. I think we must try to read it again and again on a daily basis. See, I've been reading this book for several years now, and I try to read again and again so that we get more firmness and faith on Paramatma. Again and again try to go through this word to word meaning. I read out the mantra for you again. See the mantra very carefully. Sa pariyaga chukrama akayama avranama asnavirang shuddham apapa viddham kabir manishi paribhuhu swayambhu riyatha tatyato arthan vayadda chashratibhyah samabhyah. Yajurveda 40/8. I hope you understood this mantra. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.